All right, let's call the meeting to order. Rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, roll call, please.
Mr. Viss.
Here.
Mr. Burnham.
Here.
Mr. Spencer is absent. Ms. Kovach. Here. Mr. Niemeyer is not here at the time. Ms. Haskell. Here. Mr. Smith is absent. Mr. Carnahan.
Here.
Mr. Everly.
Present.
Attorney Austin.
Present.
Ms. Sandberg. Here. And Margaret Abernathy present.
Thank you, ma'am. Dustin, how are you, sir?
Good, thank you.
Good. I'm going to turn this down here so I can see you. So about a year and a half ago, we decided that there's too many good folks in town here that were either starting up new businesses or had long been established that had made significant contributions to the community, and we'd be derelict in our duty if we didn't recognize them in some capacity or fashion, not only during a public meeting, but as well as to put them out on our social mediums to further enhance the recognition of their business. Over time, we have recognized businesses that are either new startups, those who have been around a while, very experienced, and made significant contributions to the community. And at our last meeting, Sheehy Well and Pump Company came up, and there was a resounding yes. So what we like to do is to say thank you for your contributions to the community, both in the past. Thank you for your continued contribution and investment in the area in the future. I myself have utilized your company's services, learned a lot about the history of my house from the two guys that were sent out that came to fix it late, I think it was a Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon. So I want to say thank you to you and to your guys, for the employees that you serve. So you want to come forward, sir, and share a bit about what you guys are doing with the company, how many employees you have, and some thoughts in the future. We'd be happy to hear them.
Right now, we have 4 field technicians and 2 in the office. It is still all family. We have 1 in-law, otherwise it's all still Sheehy's running it. We're the 3rd generation now. Our territory has definitely moved a little bit farther south and east. Jasper County has become kind of hot. Newton County. We do a lot of work for Fair Oaks Dairies.
Okay.
And then still take care of all of our customers we've had here in town for going on a long time.
Very cool. Yeah, I remember when your guys came out to service my my well, they looked around at an old garage that was on the property next to me and said that used to be an old motorcycle clubhouse. So I learned that was fascinating about my property and all the history of what went on.
Yeah.
So how did COVID affect you guys last year?
I wouldn't say too badly. I'd say this year we're seeing more effects with the supply chain. We kind of pulled the reins back a little bit, and we've got one guy in Newton County, a guy in Crown Point, a couple of us here in Cedar Lake, so we all just kind of worked from home, and any emergency work we got, kind of dispatched people who were closest. That lasted a month or 2, and then we're kind of back on it.
Any comments from the commission? There's silence. We're missing Mr. Niemeyer. He normally has a comment.
Oh.
So, well, yeah, I want to say thank you very much. I know many folks, many contractors that you have nothing but high praise. And on behalf of the Town Redevelopment Commission, it's our goal to continue to enable businesses here in town. So if there's ever anything that you perceive that we can be of assistance in, to the extent that we can, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Mr. Everly, Margaret, or other town officials. It's our desire to see the businesses here grow and flourish. So if ever there's anything that you perceive we can do, please don't hesitate to reach out.
You got it. Thank you very much.
We've got a certificate as well as a letter. If you'd like to hang that up and pass that along to the employees as well as the other owners.
Will do.
You take a picture with you quick, and we can put that on social media.
I'm on a bright orange.
One quick question for you.
Yes.
Your I don't know, was your grandfather started with Bunge's Hardware and then broke off?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Grandpa Sheehy and Al Sr. kind of were partners and then separated. Grandpa took the well drilling company and the Bunge stayed with the hardware store.
I'd heard that, so I figured
I think I'm happy with the way that worked out.
Even in the winter? Well, really.
Yeah, working the winter.
I would say, like, our area is pretty standard. There isn't anything real crazy.
Okay.
Water is pretty readily available. It's not the best quality, but, drilling wise, I mean, it's just,
Maybe I've watched too much Oak Island,
yeah.
probably.
I'm good, I got bright orange.
Oh, all right, then Jolie, go on this side, we'll go on this side. Oh, you don't have to, but sure.
All right, one more.
All right, good deal, Chuck.
Thank
Hey,
you.
pleasure.
Yep.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Deer hunting, Doug? Over here.
What's up?
No, I'm just working.
No, it's all good. All right, let's move along to our consent agenda. We've got deferral of July 19, 2020 meeting minutes. My sympathies go out to Margaret and family. She was out of the office for some time the past couple of weeks, so I think that's understandable. She'll need some time to accumulate them. And we've also got claims fund 404 in the amount of $870.97, and fund 804 in the amount of $9,764.14. Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve fund 404 and 804.
Eric makes a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Jolie, discussion. Roll call.
Ms. Kovach?
Yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vitt?
Yes. All right, pass. New business, Explore Everyday Community Recognition nomination. Do we have any suggestions for that?
What about a new business, Rise and Roll?
They're not busy at all.
They don't need our help.
Donuts are the devil, they're so good.
They have a fresh strawberry pie that I just discovered in the refrigerator section. I didn't even know that was there, and took that over to my granddaughter, and she loved it.
Mr. Carnahan, you're gonna have to walk an
I
extra
mean,
mile every day now.
I like, recognizing the foods, but I mean, we, service-wise, I mean, I think that was one of the first ones we've done, haven't we? I mean, we had a construction, I don't know.
TJ, we had that.
A lot of
TJ Bear
restaurants,
Services.
I don't know, I just want to try to get a spectrum on it, I don't know.
Yeah, we've done the hardware store and,
A lot of food.
Yeah. I think one perhaps we want to recognize is, I mean, they made a significant investment in town. Recently, they made another reinvestment into their property last year, and that's Strack and Bent Hill. They've been around a long time. They employ a lot of people.
I agree.
Have we had Action Plumbing in here? That's another.
And they're from Cedar Lake too, right?
Yeah, they're tucked back.
That's definitely another one I would like to, not say anything against Riseborough, I just want to feel that, get the community involved too. I mean,
What about
Action
Meals?
Plumbing's another one, they're Cedar Lake
What did
company
you
too.
do? Good. We've got two of them. Well, I think three. Mr. Carnahan, I don't disagree with you at all. It's a fine business, and it's a great anchor for those folks over there.
Absolutely.
yeah, it is. I was also thinking Maggie's, but I think that I like Dave's.
We did.
We already did.
Oh, we did Maggie's?
Yeah, we already did.
Oh, I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't.
Twice
here.
when you were with Larry would be an experience.
So I maybe wasn't here when that occurred. Okay, then
Right.
I think the plumbing
Oh, yeah.
would be a good idea.
You all right with that?
Yeah,
So,
Are you?
you wanna make a motion for that?
yes, what are they called again?
Action Plumbing.
Action Plumbing?
I'm a-
I don't know the
Been a
owner of that
long
company.
year.
Do we?
I know, right?
Yeah, I do.
Action
Oh,
plumbing.
you know the owner? Alright, so I'll second it.
All right,
All right, roll call.
Ms. Kovach?
yes.
Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Vitt?
Yes. All right. Fire department requests for additional funds for remodel. Despite someone's valiant effort to derail him in a crash in 41 in front of my office about 2 hours ago. You're here, chief.
Was it one of you that tried to stop that crash so I wouldn't come here?
Absolutely.
It wasn't, but my paralegal is sending me pictures out the window.
Absolutely not.
Your outdraft car.
Well, it was one of my clients that was involved in the collision, so I couldn't.
Is everybody okay?
Yeah, he,
Good.
I can't discuss his injuries, but everybody's okay.
That's good.
Chief, welcome back.
Well,
Good to have you.
I know, I appreciate, you at least hearing me out here today. As you guys know, our station was built like in 1935 and been added on to many, many times. We kinda knew we were gonna run into some problems as we started, tearing the building apart. And one of the things we ran into is when you walk into the fire station, into the EMS bays where the ambulances are, the back wall of the ambulance bays used to have all of our firefighting bunker gear, and there was a little bunk room. Because of COVID and the new standards of having the gear in the same room or access to the same room where people sit, eat, do that kind of stuff because of the carcinogens, we tore all that out and we put all the gear out in the big truck bays. But what we left is walls with holes and a bunk room, a gear room that needs some work. We knew we had to do it. We were kind of hoping that it would fit into the scope of this project, but because of a few other things that popped up during that upstairs remodel, we weren't able to get that completed. So if you look at, I sent you the proposal from Hen. Did you guys get that, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. And also, we straight overlooked the stairwell going from the inside of the station up to the upstairs, thinking that we could get by with not having to redo it. But as Hen and Son started working, they pretty much trashed the stairwell due to the fact that there was a lot of movement up and down the stairs during construction. And I don't think we can salvage the carpeting, nor can it's going to need to be painted. So there's some work that needs to be done there. So we thought we'd take the old carpeting out and put regular tread plates in there so it's a little more safer. And we've already had people fall down the stairs over the years because it's kind of slick. So that was one part of the project. Then as they also worked on the upstairs, which is all framed out, by the way, and plumbed so far, and the HVAC is done. So we're waiting on electrical and drywall to start. Excuse me. The deck upstairs, if you go drive by the fire station, you see a great deck that you walk out on. It's an egress from the back side of the station, is about to fall down, and it is in bad shape. We have to replace that no matter what we do, because it's old and as much use as it just recently got. It's kind of an escape route, but because of the construction, all the work that had to be done going up and down those stairs has weakened that. So I asked Ed and Sons to compile a proposal. I had a discussion with Mr. Everly and about some funds, and he suggested I come back and ask you folks again, and that's where I'm at tonight.
And the fund chief of 17201.85, that covers all three areas that you just enunciated?
It covers the whole extra project, yeah.
And you anticipate that there's anything extra that's going to be needed here? Are there any other portions of this that you say would be beneficial as well for the fire department?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty, but I felt that you were generous enough to give us the funds that we requested the first time, and then this request is kind of hefty as well, that, you know, we would do what we can to, we have appliances and stuff we need to buy too that are old and shot for the station. We have like a $5,000, $6,000 estimate on that. We also have, obviously we have a bunch of outdoor work that needs to be done, which can't be included, I know, in this project. And we have our old radio dispatch room needs some work as well. So, but it's not like we can't survive with not doing it. So, you know, I could go on all day long on a building that was built in the 30s and became a fire station in 1942. It just needs a lot of work. This work is getting us through until possibly the possibility of building a new fire station soon or someday. This will help us, but we will have to invest in, you know, gutters on the station, a roof pretty soon, stuff like that in the near future, in the next couple of years, just because it just has to be done. It's getting old. We do have some water leaks in the building that come through the walls, and those are some foundation projects that will be hundreds of thousands of dollars, I think, to fix. making it. It's just, I knew we were gonna open up Pandora's box when we started tearing into the walls of this building. The upstairs of the fire station was built back in the 80s by the membership. We had electricians, plumbers, contractors on the department, and they built it. Bob Everly did all the electrical work at the time, and Tom Anderson did plumbing work, which we're looking at now was kind of rough. But it worked, and it lasted the test of time. I mean, it's been there since, I think it was 86 or 85 when we built it, so. And what the volunteers, by doing the upstairs, we eliminated the training room. So we have no meeting or training room now. What we're doing is tearing the back, or we're doing it out in the truck bay. But the one back room bay that we have, the volunteers decided to pitch in money to upgrade that and make it a training facility or training room for our folks. So the association is actually pitching in another $14,000 to this project to build us a new training room and a new room, and we'll put all our historical stuff in there as well.
Okay.
So.
Hey, you were talking about appliances. What you said you got quotes for that?
Yeah.
What was that at?
I think it was around $6,000 for appliances. That was stove.
And what's that include?
Stove, microwave, 3 refrigerators, and what am I missing? Stove, microwave. Oh, dishwasher, refrigerators. That's it.
And Tom, I mean, you have any idea how old that stuff is that's in there now?
The stuff that's in there now, the microwave's burned up. The stove is probably 10, 12 years old. And the one Whirlpool refrigerator we got in the kitchen area is 6, 7 years old. And we currently have like 8 refrigerators in the fire station, because we have all kinds of stuff. We have ice and everything else that we keep cold, water and stuff like that as well. But they're always hand-me-down fridges that somebody donates, and they last a year or two, and then we throw them out. We just threw out 5 of them, because they're all junk. But when you have 3 different crews living there, they like to have a place for their own food, and, it's typical of every fire station to have a fridge for every one of the crews. But we were looking at, through Hen and Sons, they got a deal through Home Depot on packages, so it was like $5,000 or $6,000.
So I'm for this, but I need educated. Will you educate me?
Absolutely.
Where, and anybody chime in, where does your funding come from? You would think I would know this, but truly, I'm on a different end of things.
We are funded by the town taxpayers.
By the town,
Yeah.
the taxpayers.
And we have a
So
contract with the township.
You said many, many moons ago, volunteers did a lot
Okay.
of work and things like that. So
Yeah.
currently, with our growth, it's just an appropriation of funds. So say, we all know that a lot of funding has gone into infrastructure and things of that nature. So your need for a new station, we're sitting in this building here, and, when I drive around the county and I go into Crown Point, and, I walked completely around the Cherville downtown fire, all that. They're really, really nice town halls and nice, beautiful buildings that are made of brick and easy access and entry. Where did the ball get dropped in the Cedar Lake?
And I don't believe the ball was ever really dropped. I think that because of the growth came so quickly, the infrastructure, it's like all the rest of the infrastructure in the town, they're playing catch up. And the fire department was a private corporation up until 8 years ago, when the town absorbed the fire department into its organization. So we actually contracted for fire services to the town of Cedar Lake and the township. So over those years, there was a board of directors made up of firefighters that managed the fire service. And we were always under contract, which meant the fire department didn't have access to some of these funds, some of this stuff that's back in the day that was available, because we were a private corporation. And as now we start getting into being part of the town, and we're receiving more funds for equipment, and it's gotten way better. Salaries are better, insurance are better, the retirement plans are better. So in the past 8 years, we have gone from just being a very, very, very struggling fire department to a department that is on the edge of being very competitive with people around us. The buildings themselves are a big ticket item. We have just recently started a committee led by our town manager, Rick, about building a new police, fire, and town hall complex. So, but if we were to start on that project, we started on that project, we're 36 months away from that ever happening because of getting property and all the, the process of building such a facility or facilities. So these are needs that need to be done now to the station that make us survive for the next 3 to 4 years.
Thank you, and I am all for it, especially the appliances, because that is pitiful that they're 10 years old. So if we can work that in, I am all for that, as long as you promise me that somebody's a really good cleaner and they clean it. I would picture,
I will.
sorry if that sounds
And that is sometimes our
feminist or
town.
whatever.
Sometimes our
I'm
town.
just kidding. The mom, it always does, doesn't it? I'm always like, you boys better clean that fridge.
I remember Geraldine Quartergrax, you should say, when she was the clerk treasurer, she'd come down to our open house and she would look at our fire trucks and say, why do you guys need new fire trucks? Look at how clean these are. Look at how nice the station looks. Well, the trucks were 35 years old, but we took care of them and
Yep.
we kept them new.
Yep.
You go down to the fire station now and you look at all those old appliances, they look new. They do, because we clean that station. Fire trucks, fire equipment, ambulances, and the station is kept very, very clean.
Yeah,
I
I
totally
understand.
get that. For the times that I've been in there, with Chief Oakley, I have had no complaints. So if this board is able to do those funds, I'd like to make a motion for the $17,200 plus the $6,000 for new appliances, if we're able to do that.
Yeah, we don't need a document with that itemized,
I can send that to you.
you can email that over
Well,
to
then
us?
Ma'am.
Can we put in,
Is that
I can
okay
put
with
in
you?
conjunction not to
To add
exceed
it?
that amount for appliances.
Not to exceed.
Okay, and I'll second that then.
I will make it $6,000 so you get what you need for those guys.
Awesome.
And it's not, you're well deserved.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it, but I really needed in my mind, not that I would have said no, I was with it regardless of what was going on. I just think that we wouldn't be prudent if we didn't say, where are we at as a town where we see others gleaning, being able to take care of that? And I will continue with this growth that they will start. That's a great idea, and whatever, are there grants for those kinds of things, Rick?
There
Good,
is,
good.
but there's not,
Yeah.
not that kind of stuff.
What typically happens is a large pond is taken out
Yeah.
by either the private entity before it gets annexed into a town or it gets absorbed, or a redevelopment commission or town council take a very large pond to fund those significant developments. Because they're multi-million-dollar, and you're exactly right,
Oh, yeah.
we're experiencing accelerated growth, and frequently that, the infrastructure has to play catch up here. So I'm glad to hear that we're in dialogue here, and it's exciting to see what everyone's gonna come up with.
Did Henson give you a time when this was gonna be completed? Are we looking this year, right?
Yeah, the upstairs should be done in the next 2.5 weeks, and then they'll start on the downstairs.
And then these add-ons?
Which will be able to be added on at the end of that project, yeah. Actually, part of it needs to go in with the current project, so.
You think you'll have another open house then this year?
We're shooting for October, but the whole station may not be open. But I think what we'll do is we'll probably we talked about having a Thanksgiving open house weekend. Maybe on that weekend, just once all the project is done, open it up to I know it'll be cold, but still, have maybe a little grand opening of the project for the fire station, and invite everybody to come and see what we did, and
That'd be pretty cool.
have coffee. And if it's done before that, then we have the intentions of doing that, no doubt about it, once it's completely done, yeah.
Margaret, roll call please.
Ms. Covich? Yes. Mr. Burnham?
Yes.
Mr. Biss?
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you very much. You guys know how much
Guys
we
and
appreciate
gals,
this.
our
Thank
hearty
you.
appreciation
Thank you,
for your work.
Chief Wilkie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks, thank you.
it's tough to follow that up. I always get excited about fire department.
Well, you guys gotta stop down though, and see the construction process.
Shoot us a note, and we can stop it before our next meeting, Chief.
That'd be awesome.
We'll do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, discussion potential investment ideas. I believe the purpose of that was to spend a few minutes just ruminating and tossing around possible future investment ideas for the redevelopment commission here in a 1 to 5 year process. anybody have any ideas or suggestions?
If I could give an update, Mr.
Yes,
President?
go ahead, Jen.
So I've been working with Corby Thompson, our financial consultant. We're working on a lot of things right now, but he actually has quite a few calls put out to a lot of local banks in the area, just to see what they can provide us as far as terms and investment options. So he's waiting to hear back from some of them, Frontier First Merchants, BMO, People's Bank. He's been reaching out to quite a few. And we have also discussed updating an investment policy. Our investment ordinance is quite old, and we also need something in place so we can establish what kind of reserve requirements we'd like to see. Balances we know that we want to keep, and what sort of excess balances we see and what we want to do with them, and into what sort of investment accounts. So he will actually be really working on that as we move forward with the budget process.
Thank you. I was about to derail the topic. I was going to go a completely separate direction to refresh my memory. So, no, thank you for that. And actually, talked with Mr. Everly because I had dialogue with the bank president who actually does that for, I think, some municipalities. Providence Bank, they had some investment scheme that they helped folks out with as well, so you can include them in on the mix.
All right, I'll call
He
Corby
shares with me
tomorrow.
what they do for sweeps and stuff like that. Any questions for Jen on investment ideas? I was going to take it down the road of infrastructure ideas. Good, thanks for that clarification. All right. Jen will segue right into your clerk treasurer's funds report.
So I've given you all the updated report, your cash balances. Sorry, let me go back, I lost my page.
13.
I had a separate copy next to me, and then I buried it. Okay, so cash balances are still good. Yeah, I mean, really at this point, I don't have until we update on the investment, as we go into next year's budget. Looking at what we're gonna do with TIF funds, in conjunction with Corby's sustainability plan. Really, everything is pretty much ongoing.
Okay, right now we've got a fund, was it 1.5?
Including that little bit investment that's in Trust Indiana. Your spring settlement was pretty decent. I still have in there what I anticipate for a fall settlement, but really I think it could potentially be quite a bit higher. I mean, as we've seen, there's no slowdown here.
Right. Okay.
So,
I don't see anything in here for Brett Lambert for the money that they allocated for him over a 7-year period.
Starts next year.
And that's still a go?
I was gonna say, did we have an update, or when was the last time we discussed that one?
That was 2 months ago. No, that's still a go.
Okay.
I think before the end of the year, we'll use Mr. Austin's office to prepare that agreement so that once we hit the spring, we can start renewing those funds to him. But yeah, maybe keep an asterisk off to the left side, that we'll need that for next year, because we did talk about doing a budgetary session in September, October, if I recall correctly. So,
And Corby plans to attend, at least via Zoom, the September meeting, I believe, to discuss some of those things.
perfect. Okay. Any questions for Jen? Thank you, ma'am, as always, for keeping us on financial track. Appreciate it. Dave, Hood, love damages update. Anything there?
We're moving on settlement discussions and documentation. They're not complete, but we're working on that.
And can you share anything with us on number 3?
No.
All right, number 4, reminder to all, we have a joint town council RDC plan commission meeting tomorrow evening at 7:00 p.m. We have included in the packet the outline of meetings prepared by Mr. Austin. So meeting tomorrow night, then we have notice of public hearing on the 20th. Followed by that, our next meeting to discuss will be on 9/20/21. Is that a regularly scheduled meeting date, I believe?
It is.
Okay, all right, perfect. Anything, Dave, that we need to know before tomorrow evening?
Just what we've described to you in the setup for this, and the consolidation of SVT LLC into consolidated 133rd ZIP district, and the addition to that of the aforementioned Ultima Action Plumbing parcel, newly annexed.
Any questions for Dave on those two or three? Hearing none, we'll move along to facade grant updates. Margaret, you want to run us through what you got here?
There's really no change as far as any, well, I think the last payment, Sean Perfetti was paid out actually on the last one
Yes,
for his, and it came like kind of at the last minute. So he is completed. We've got a couple that are coming up that will need to either have finished or they will need to be at your next meeting to request an extension. And I denoted those by highlighting them in yellow with the date of the expiration of their contract and 2 asterisks. So the first one would be the Legacy Insurance Group. I've checked with Building and Planning, and they have not had any movement on the landscaping yet. And then Guard Laundromat, I believe all they have left to do is the asphalt based on what someone said last week. So they may be done by that time. I have reached out already to Mr. Linda Mulder, and I figured I'd wait because I know the last time Dick Hen got his stuff to us right away. So I figure if he needs another extension, I'll wait until it gets a little closer and check to see if they have a permit, or certificate of occupancy, excuse me.
Yep. I'll talk to Mr. Lindemulder again. I know they were supposed to, after a 3-month delay, start last week Friday, the landscaper guys, and over here they showed up, so we'll talk.
Okay.
I do have a couple questions in regards. So
Okay.
we've awarded out $97,000, correct? That's what we're allocated for. What are we doing with the people that are coming? So we aren't accepting any more applications till the first of next year because we've already come close enough to our max out?
Yes, I believe we've got a policy decision to make September, October, which is, do we want to, again, set aside X amount for 2022? That's the first question.
And we're gonna tackle this on the next
Yeah,
meeting?
the next 2 meetings, and if the answer to that is yes, I think from there, then most likely we'll make a policy decision which says we will only start accepting as of 1/1/2022.
Okay.
So that'd be my recommendation, is how we move forward.
I don't wanna increase that number though, the amount.
I think we
But
just
we can talk about it.
We certainly can, yeah, I think it's a policy decision next
Okay.
2 months as to whether or not we want to do it, and B, how much.
Okay.
Yep, good question. All right. Mr. Everly, an update on light pole banners.
Yes, Mr. President, I have ordered the banners. I'll use the word preliminarily because I learned in speaking to someone at banners.com that there has been a price increase since the numbers that I was given back in April. You might recall that I was looking into this early in the year, and there's been a price increase for the material that's used for these banners. So he's double checking for me to make sure we can get them at the original price that was quoted to me, or at least closer than what they are right now. So today, I talked with Jack Adams of Safari Marketing and asked Jack about getting a quote from him in anticipation of maybe he being able to get these banners at a better price for us. So he's going to get me a price as well. I have not placed the official order with banners.com yet. Jen reminded me today that we need a W-9 from them before we can provide them with a purchase order number. But I have put them on notice that I would like to order those from them if they can come closer to that original contract price. Not contract price, but quoted price.
Okay.
So
the banners themselves is what they not the hardware.
right,
Yeah.
right,
I mean, what hasn't gone up?
right. Everything's
Everything.
everything's gone up.
So, you're talking 4 months, it's very possible.
Yeah, they don't, neither Banners.com nor Jack Adams felt it would be a problem in terms of getting the materials, either the hardware or the banners themselves, by the date we need them. So I've got some prices to get some information for you, and we'll move forward once I have that information back.
Thank you for that, sir. Any other questions?
I did also talk to Jack about that sign that the town's apparently been wanting to replace there at Lincoln Plaza for, I don't know, 10 years or so, I think. And he's gonna get me a price on that as well.
Okay.
That is likely gonna take 2 to 3 variances to put up. Number one, it's likely gonna go in a right-of-way, and our sign ordinance requires that signs be at least 10 feet outside of a right-of-way. Number two, there's probably 14 businesses that are in that plaza that we need to make accommodations for, maybe even 15. So the sign, the maximum sign we can have is 60 square feet. That's not gonna cut it for 15 businesses, I don't think, in the way of a pole-mounted sign. So likely seeking a size variance and a location.
Is that sign gonna cover the new businesses, like?
Summer Winds, no.
No. Summer Winds already has their sign,
They have their
right?
own, right.
So
This
the
would
new
be-
sign will cover the ones that are in the Plaza, Strack, and True Value.
Right, where Pizza Hut is.
Right.
That building, the 3 buildings across from Pizza Hut,
Yeah.
and then Strax, True Value, and Centir that are in the bigger one. Jack suggested that he asked if there'd be a flagship sort of business, and seems like Strax makes sense, because he thought if there are 15 businesses, Strax across the top, and then 2 rows of 7 sign spaces for the other units that could be there, something like that. So, I'll leave the design up to them, but it's,
I guess I'd say we proceed forward with exploration.
yeah,
I'm a little hesitant or skeptical as to whether or not it's feasible to have a sign of that magnitude there without it being a safety hazard and for it to actually be a benefit to the businesses.
Yeah.
Is my reservation.
Yeah.
I can be convinced otherwise, but
yeah.
I do believe that we took down the sign, we, in the town, we
Yeah.
should replace the sign. I mean, we'll have to come to something with the arrangement for all parties involved, but I definitely we need to go through it.
You could consider 2 signs, but they'd be competing with each other
Right.
if you put them out front there, so.
Right.
Um,
Let's have to wait and see what the design, what they come up with, and then you guys can make your
yeah.
judgment.
A 6x10 sign is allowed anyway, so you could go 60 square feet, but that's 15 businesses on 60 square feet isn't much room for any one business, so. Yeah.
I think there's 15 on there. Yeah, I would just wait till, let them design it and
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it needs to get put back. I mean, it's been a while.
Yeah, I think it's 10 years or more, but since we improved 133rd.
Yeah.
It's a huge sign that took down.
Yeah, what they had up there was huge. Yeah, I don't know how many square feet.
You know what, I don't remember, I don't remember how big it was.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, I've only been at Cedar Lake 15 years, so I don't remember.
It was significant.
It was huge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
to the board.
Yeah,
This group didn't make any agreement to replace it. And number 2 is I don't think any business up there right now made a decision that I'm gonna stay here contingent upon a small sign being put up, but again, that's just my opinion.
I would imagine the only 2 businesses that were there at the time were probably Strax and True Value, huh? Everything else has changed?
It was Wilco.
Yeah, it was Will Cougar, the other grocery store before
There you
that.
go, so it wasn't even Strax.
No, it wasn't Stratton.
But True Value was there, wasn't it?
True Value, yeah.
Yeah, it was coast to coast maybe back then.
Yeah,
Okay.
And Ben Franklin.
Yeah.
yeah, so there may not be any businesses there today that were there when the sign was taken down.
True Value.
True Value.
Other than
True
True
Value is
Value.
always
True
on.
Value was, right, well, that had to be there.
Yeah, well, like I said, it used to be called coast to coast.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't even remember when it changed, so. All right, well, guess that's right.
We'll continue to assess,
Okay.
absolutely. Mr. Everly, while you are up at the plate, update on King Drive?
We expect that to be finished, in the next, probably less than a week. But the thing that we're waiting for is those streetlight poles. They were
Okay.
on back order. We have every reason to think they're going to come in on time, which I think was the 20th, August 20th. So that's this Friday. So hoping that that's the case.
Okay.
And that's really the only holdup is those light
The
poles?
light poles,
That's great.
yeah.
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 Absolutely.
I mean, traffic hasn't been bad, I mean, traffic's gonna get horrible, on Wednesday, but, I mean, that's regardless if it was perfect or if it wasn't.
Right.
I mean, traffic's just the way it is over there,
Yeah.
so I hope the lights does everybody, all parties involved get benefit from it.
Yep,
That was the whole purpose of doing it.
exactly, Eric, yep.
Financial analysis, I think that's just on there so that we can keep that in the back burner, and we'll discuss that a little bit more in detail in September. Anything else from the commission? Anything from school court?
School starts Wednesday.
Yes, it does.
Buckle up. Mr. Carnahan, anything from town council or from the business?
The chamber is preparing for the parade of lights for November 20th, and John from State Farm here in Cedar Lake is going to chair that.
Oh, cool.
And on the Christmas trees, we're waiting for Steve Goldberg from Leo's to tell us what the price is going to be, because he's having a very hard time getting trees.
Oh, my. It's crazy.
So he's trying to get enough for the chamber and enough for his own business to sell at his location.
Trees?
They burned down.
Oh, we take them all down, put houses up, so. Got that
That's in
today.
Canada. All right,
Those are
thank you for that,
oak
Mr.
trees,
Carnahan. Margaret, if we could for next time have an exec session for 20 minutes beforehand on land acquisition, please. As well as I'd like to follow up our next meeting with a study session.
So, Dave, I'm sorry, September 20th then?
Yes, sir. I'll order in a couple pieces, and let's talk a bit during that study session about future infrastructure ideas. I know Mr. Niemeyer, Mr. Everly, and others have brought forward some long-term plans for the town. I'd like to discuss that. If we could each bring what other ideas we have, so that we can start formulating direction of redevelopment commission for 2022 and beyond. Just some thoughts to think about. What comes to mind for me is extending water lines down 41 both directions, bicycle lanes, and extension of the facade grant program into 2022. Let me discuss those now, just some thoughts and ideas for our next meeting. Okay.
So you said for 20 minutes before the regular meeting?
Yes,
Do you want it to start at 5:30? So that you have
5:30 is fine.
break?
That works for,
Okay.
yeah, we'll let Mr. Austin be brief. His update. And Mr. Everly to keep it going. No. Any briefer? Right. All right, anything else from the commission?
Mr. President, Margaret just reminded me that we are planning a Labor Day event this year on Sunday, September 5th. We'll have music. It'll be the last of the 5 performances by Andy Anderson's group. But we're also trying to have some food booths and maybe some other types of booths with that, a beer garden. This is part of the $20,000 that we received through the Lake County Visitors Bureau.
Okay.
That's funding about $4,000 for that event. So that's being planned now, and we're looking forward to having that event on the lakefront.
Very good.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, anybody get a chance to ride the steamship?
No?
Oh, it was awesome.
That's pretty cool.
They had the actual steamship powered by steam, and we
Yeah.
chugged across the lake and back. It was really neat.
Cool.
To be 4 feet away from, a large canister of compressed water and steam.
I didn't know what was going on.
I didn't either.
All right, I think they're doing rides
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow is it?
Encore
We go to the
performance,
Cedar Lake
yeah.
Historical Society, I think there's a couple more tickets available, so, work the cruise. All right, we will consider this meeting adjourned then.